Startup ecosystem, what the idea is that you have to learn how to pitch your idea clearly and concisely. And once you learn how to do that, then you can bring in all the stakeholders and you can get into programs that'll help you and train you on how to build it. But that first step is you have to design a business model that is desirable.
When I initially moved back to Pensacola, I had a meeting with Lloyd. Lloyd invited me for breakfast and I was telling him, man, I still have an idea for the entertainment industry. This is what I wanted to do. He was like, all right, I got Startup on the Blocks. So I need you to start coming to Startup on the Blocks and get a little more information on how to work through the tech ecosystem and take your idea and we'll get you where you need to go. My company is called The Know, is an app that is streamlining business for the entertainment industry. Yeah, so if you're a musician, what you would do is pretty much jump on the platform, you'll create a profile, but the way we created the profile is pretty much a cleaner way. So now if they want more information about you, you'll connect your social media platforms, your streaming platforms, and that way they can go directly to it. What we also have included is your calendar. So pretty much you can set your days, you can set your price for your days and automate your booking. So initially talking to Lloyd, my idea was all here, it was there, it was over here, it was over there. It was like, all right, Quinn, I get it. You got a lot that you want to do, but we need you to bring it in just a little bit and then work on your pitch, your story, and how you're going to bring it full circle to get people to understand what you're trying to create.
Most of the programs here wasn't inclusive, and so we said we'll focus on helping founders of color. We also start at the beginning of the thing, at the idea stage, whereas a lot of the programs you see here locally, they start after you're up, and that's not very efficient unless if you don't have a lot of money, you can't recover from your mistakes. And the Lean Startup system, it actually helps you make mistakes faster before you spend a lot of money. You don't actually start building anything until you got customer buy-in.
There was a need for small businesses to bring brand awareness to their business. I see there's a lot of makers and bakers that they're making all of these goodies and these products, but they can't market it, they can't sell it at the same time, and there needs to be kind of like that middleman, that middle person to help bring economic growth to some of the small businesses in Pensacola. So Taste of Pensacola, I came up with that idea during the pandemic when I saw things at that time that Amazon couldn't fulfill. They didn't even have those products, but the local people in the community, they did. And so there was a ton of people coming out saying, hey, I make masks. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. All the local people here that are just as talented that can actually make those products. And so I wanted to kind of showcase who they were. So with Taste of Pensacola, our income streams, we have several of them. We have the corporate America. We do corporate gifting, just regular consumers, different Pensacola natives that don't live here that want to purchase our boxes, like a taste of weddings, distribution. So we also do bulk sales. So for a private airline, if they want some local snacks and goodies on their passenger flights, they will come to Taste of Pensacola and we will source their vendors here locally. And we'll give a small business owner an opportunity to have reoccurring monthly sales. I've always had a really big vision for Taste of Pensacola. I knew that it could go beyond just local. I know that maybe other communities could possibly use the same platform that I'm trying to build. And I always have these big visions, but I never know how to even get there. Where do I start? I know it's more than, there's a lot of technical things behind it. I know there's a lot of research, but that connection, I never had it until, thankfully, I met and was introduced to Startups on the Blocks and was able to just learn more about how to grow it in terms of data. Things I just never thought about, framework, words like traction. There's a lot of things that I just did not know about and language that I need to know in order to get funding for my business. There's just a lot that I didn't know.
I would go to the stores and look online. They didn't have a wide variety of natural hair products about 8 years ago. And the ones that they did have, the ingredients, it would say that they were all natural. And when I would research the ingredients, a lot of the ingredients were not natural. I make everything, my shampoo, conditioner, I have an oil that I make, and I have 2 different separate butters. Like I had some people who were completely bald and grew their hair. It's about giving women their confidence back in their hair. I have this salon and then I have a second salon, and I have my products in about 5 beauty supply stores. So I need a manufacturer to keep up with the demand at this point. Startup on the Blocks has helped my business grow, send me to different people. I'm able to do different pitch competitions to apply for grants in the community for small businesses. Lloyd's a really good person to connect with. He has a lot of resources here in the community that can help small businesses grow. If you have a product out there and you're trying to go big time, he's the person that you would want to meet with.
So it's really important to have some type of support because 9 times out of 10, most founders start out on their own. And to have somebody that has an idea of how the ecosystem works and is able to tap into other resources and bring back to the community, and that pretty much has encountered some of the roadblocks or going through the same roadblocks that we're currently going through and understands where you're at, your culture and how you respond to things, is a big help because you don't really have too many people that have access to what we have access to here in the community. And a lot of people believe that you have to leave and go to bigger cities to do the things that we're doing here. But I mean, it's one thing to have exposure, but you have to actually know it's here in the community in order to take advantage of the resources. So I get approached and I talk to friends all the time that wants to either start an idea or hear that I'm actually doing the app and wants to know more information about how are you doing it or what's the process, what's the path. I'm like, man, we have somebody here, Startup on the Blocks, Lloyd Richard, and Lloyd is here. He's a great resource to the community and to founders that's trying to learn the ecosystem. So join Startup on the Blocks.
Yes, that's a great idea. Join Startup on the Block. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy to be here on Thursday. So, Dallas, if you can get that camera working, you can turn it on, and I'll bring you on stage here. What's happening, Dallas? How are you?
Hey, how's it going? How's everybody doing?
Doing good, doing good. Yeah, so looks like you made it on there. I was beginning to wonder there for a minute.
Yes, sir. Sorry about that. I have
no.
spring break this weekend. My 3 young daughters are here with me, so I had to go take care of them real quick, and they're going crazy.
I can imagine why this is a family show, so don't sweat it at all. Yeah, we've had parents come on, kids come on, everything. So it's all good.
Awesome. Is that light too bright in the back, Lloyd? Do you need me to turn that down?
Yeah, you could probably probably a good
Okay.
idea.
All right. Let me take care of that real quick.
Yeah, hope everybody's doing good out there, and we got a great program lined up for you tonight, and we're glad to have Dallas on.
How's that? Is that a little bit better?
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
All right. Sorry. I just moved into a new apartment. I'm still getting my stuff all squared away here on my desk and everything. So
Good. No issues whatsoever. So, we're gonna. I'm gonna pull up my some slides here to kind of give a little shout out to our sponsors. I guess I need to find it first. I thought I had it up here. Yeah, and we'll do that, and then we'll let you introduce yourself, Dallas.
sure.
Okay. So I have it here. I'm going to slideshow and then share my screen here. Yeah, so you're doing spring break off with your kids?
I am. I've had them for a couple days. It's crazy. You know, I have 3 young daughters, so
Yeah,
they keep me busy.
fantastic. Yeah, the spring break is up here as well. So so all the colleges and the schools are out. So it's a fun week. I had a high school student. I had a high school student helping me out the first 3 days of the week, so we can earn a little money on spring break. So
There you go.
yeah, that's good. So go ahead and give a quick shout out to our partners, our organizations, and so these are some of our partner organizations that we work with, Dallas, to kind of help the founders out. So yeah, and so like this one right here is Startup Science. That's a platform that we have, and this is an interesting platform because it was built by a guy named Greg Shepard, and he had went through 12 exits, and so everything he learned going through those 12 exits, he put it in the training program. So that's kind of like a valuable resource for the founders. And
That's awesome.
yeah, and Coda, we try to partner with them because it's a neat tool. Are you familiar with that at all?
No, sir, I'm not.
Yeah, so Coda is kind of like an application. So if you think about Google Workspace, Microsoft 365, and so Coda is like a thing that actually does everything in one document. So your slides, your spreadsheet of tables, your work, your documents. But what's neat about it, it allows you to bring all your enterprise applications into that one document. So you can bring your accounting stuff in there, you can bring your HR stuff in there and see it in one place, so you don't have to be switching back.
Simplifying stuff. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. And so, and for startups, they can actually run their whole back office off that, because it literally can mimics everything, to be honest with you. And it's got AI built in, and so you can talk to your documents and stuff like that. And we partner with them, and so they get our founders 6 months free with unlimited AI and make startups. And so since I know you're involved with the 35 News program, this particular thing, it's a training platform, but it uses AI to measure the founder's skills. So when they apply, it actually kind of rate them on their skills. But you also can use it to kind of like, if you got
awesome.
if you got like, let's say down at let's see, let me put that's what I said. So like down at Synapse next week, if they had, let's say, 300 pitch applications, you can run those through that, and it'll rank all the applications for you and save a lot of time with
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's what I love.
Yeah, so basically just try to leverage AI as much as possible. Pitch Bob, and that's kind of like a chat box that you can talk through your WhatsApp or Messenger product, Telegram, and all those type things. But it helps you generate all your initial documents that you need to kind of get up and running with your company. And so Lean Stack, that's our main business model design platform, where the founders can stress test their ideas and make sure they're desirable, viable, and feasible. Yeah, and so these other organizations we partner with Blacks in Technology, because they got like almost 40,000 members all over the world. So we support their members, and here in Florida, we got the Black Innovation Leaders of Florida. And so just trying to encourage the innovation, here in the state. And Black Innovation Alliance, that's like got about close to 200 organizations that work with founders. And so they're pretty neat. And Goody Nation, they've been around the longest, and they have they're kind of like accountability platform. And so like like they have these cohorts of founders, but they have weekly accountability meetings. So and they have a lot of tools and stuff for founders as well. So these are the money people. And I see FPL on here. Yeah, so you know all about that. Right?
Good.
And you see they're in the power spot.
Yes,
so they're our number one sponsor. Yeah. Yeah,
we appreciate the love. We appreciate the love.
Yeah. So locally here, we got started. Basic accordance to since we got started. FPL's been supporting us, but when we started a startup program, they did the initial funding of our Lean Stack thing, and so that allowed us to give the founders. That's the thing that allowed us to partner with all these other organizations, allow them to use that tool to help people design scalable business models. But as you can see, we have a lot of local support, and banks and Industry Hotel. They got started with us early. They sponsored our initial 4 or 5 of our initial pitch competitions, just to kind of get the ball rolling. So we definitely rely on them to do stuff for the founders. And I'll give you like a minute or two to introduce yourself, and then I've got a couple more slides, and then we'll get the conversation going.
Yeah. So do you, just strictly who I am, or do you want me to go through in 35 Mules, or just who I am
just you and what your role is and stuff. Yeah, you can give it a little
Yeah. So
right.
sure. Dallas Burkhalter, I appreciate everybody's time tonight. Thank you very much for having me on. It's a pleasure. I am a Florida native. I grew up in a small town between West Palm Beach and Okeechobee called Indiantown. Grew up on a farm there. And my grandfather worked for Florida Power and Light for 35 years and was a part of the relocation from Miami to Martin County is where I currently reside. So it's been a big part of my life. Pretty much majority of my life. I'm 36. So I've been with the company for 9 years. Been with the company for 9 years. I started in supply chain and did overhead and underground distribution contracts. And then I went into materials management, and I managed all the East region material warehouses for distribution, everything from Boca up to Nassau County and Lake City, all of our distribution warehouses in between there. And then I had an opportunity to work for Power Delivery as a project manager, and then oversaw the CMC crews, so new feeder builds that we were doing, rec outs, road expansions, things like that, hardening projects. Went from there to NextEra Infrastructures, and we did smart metering with lights and smart nodes on top, so we could control and really understand the power usage and have a better understanding of if a light wasn't working, if it was getting enough power to and from, and you could control it from anywhere. Majority of my stuff was on the west coast of Florida or out in Texas and Pennsylvania, so I was able to do a lot of troubleshooting online with the smart nodes that we used. And had an opportunity in that role to work with two of the startups. Our vice president of that business unit asked me to work with two of the startups from 35 Mules and have an opportunity to see if we could have some synergies and potentially put a contract together for some things we were working on that they were doing and put a pilot of some sort together. So just really fell in love with Anisha and Danielle and the gentleman, Matt, who used to work there,
Yes.
and kind of had the opportunity. Matt was leaving for another role. He kind of jokingly was like, "Hey man, you should apply." And it was kind of completely out of my realm of stuff in my background. But I asked Danielle and she said, "Yeah, I think you should." And it came to be and worked out, and very fortunate and blessed to have an opportunity now to work with 35 Mules and be a part of the team. So it's kind of my journey to where we are today with 35 Mules.
Yeah, that's a really interesting journey there. We'll dig into that a little bit here in a few minutes. Yes.
Sure.
So definitely got a great background there, and I'm definitely interested in exploring that a little bit more. And I'm going to do a couple more slides here just in case I need to promote.
Sure. Yeah, please.
We got coming up. And last week, my son, he was on. He actually did promote the 35 Mules, and we've been including it in our newsletter. But
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. So the whole idea of our program is so we can help founders learn the best practices for building a startup, and so these are some of the things, kind of what we do, supporting them through the milestones that they need to reach, and also the life cycle. And then, but if the founders can actually learn some of these best practices, then they can leverage the ecosystem to help them, grow their startup. And that kind of was my journey as a startup founder. But that's to me, that's my whole career is leveraging resources to get my job done.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, because you definitely can't do it all on your own. You have to kind of leverage become aware of the resources and leverage them as much as you can to kind of help you move forward. And these are the training programs we leverage and offer. And so I'll maybe talk a little bit. Lean Stack definitely is our cornerstone program, and the Startup Science is just the step-by-step. It's just a bunch of 4 or 5 minute videos or audio or written stuff that no matter what subject related to building a startup and all the bases, it teaches you that. And then it's like got all the tools in there like got list of pitch competitions, all kinds of resources, connections to accelerator programs, perks, for free stuff that a startups can use. So it's a great product, and they keep updating it regularly on that. And tell you a little bit about the co-founder OSs, and I think that's key when you can kind of measure the entrepreneur skills, to kind of help them move forward. And just beginning of the year, we through our affiliation with Black Innovation Leaders of Florida, we got a grant to the Black Innovation Leaders of Florida got a grant to offer patent hacks, the course to everybody. So that's and that's kind of what this thing is all about. So they have a learning center, of things you can go through to learn about trademarks, and then they have another part of it that you can learn about patents. But it's a lot of reading. But so what I decided to do was create some AI agents, to
There you go.
people through it. And so I don't know if you use Google Notebook LM. I use that to kind of create a podcast. So it kind of summarizes all the material and creates like a 2-person podcast. And but then the neat thing about that, you can join the podcast and ask the question, and the thing will answer your question back immediately.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's really neat. And all the stuff that we do, we on our cocoainstitute.org page, get started page. That's where you can kind of connect to all this stuff. Now, this is the big thing here is that we started last year. We did our first annual Black Founder Innovation Summit, and so we had about 184 people register, but we only had a room for like 100 in person, so we had 92 show up in person. So we're at, and so we will probably be at capacity again this year, but we do it both online and in person, and so hybrid. Yeah, so hybridly we can get up to 1,000 people on StreamYard, and then locally we'll do that. But it was like really amazing. The whole community joined in. People came from all over the state and the region, and so it's going to be even better because we're focusing on AI, of course. And so this is pretty neat. We have these startup founders, but they're all building AI startups, and they're leveraging AI to actually build a startup.
Great.
Lisa, this Microtron, so she's like I call her a modern day hidden figures, because she's kind of like off the chain for inventions and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Ray, he went through one of our cohorts, and he's leveraging what do you call it, cloud code to actually build his stuff. And John, he's using a different approach. They actually hired a organization out of Louisiana that does manufacturing and software at half the price normal through the Louisiana state system. So that's a good resource for founders to, and so they're actually manufacturing what is called a teledoor that can actually be placed at schools and universities and monitor the stuff that's coming through there with the metal detector AI and the cameras and all that. Yeah, so it's like a pretty neat thing. And Webster, he did some of our training too. He's doing digital pathology, and so he just launched his MVP as well. And Josiah, he's kind of like basic, but so this guy has several inventions. One of them is keyless encryption. So, and he's building he's doing an open source project called AFA AI, but it's actually taking all the he's coming from South Carolina, taking all the African dialects and actually building a language model to actually bring all those languages to life. So it's pretty neat. And
cool.
Yeah, and Dr. Wanda, she's down near where you are. She down in the Miami area, at least in
Okay.
South Florida, I guess. And
Yeah.
her it's called Vibes. I think it's in the medical area, but I don't remember all what it's about. But she's a member of Black Innovation Leaders of Florida as well. But that'll be a nice showcase of AI startup founders. Like Lincoln is coming from California, Ray is coming from Memphis, Beasley is coming from Alabama, Joseph is coming from South Carolina. So to me, it's like, you show people how you use AI to kind of build your startup. And yeah, these are some more of our speakers. We got a bank president and some more folks. So yeah, we're going to have a really good event. So I'm definitely.
That's a great lineup.
Yeah. It finally came through. We need one more keynote speaker, and so I got two options out there. And so if neither one of those come through, based on what Bisa is building, because I wanted to talk on the AI and wealth. Building wealth, leveraging AI tools. But I think that's pretty much it. So like, I'll go ahead and talk about this slide a little bit, and then we'll get going here on our conversation. But this slide is kind of important. It's actually my favorite slide for all the stuff we do. So you may be familiar with the Lean Canvas or Business Model Canvas, right? Yeah, and
yes,
so what happens is in the Lean Stack program, you're trying to get to these milestones and stuff like that. But whether you just getting started or whether you have an existing company, what Ash teaches you is you put whatever is in your head on a Lean Canvas. And then you break the Lean Canvas out based on your customer segment. So all of these rows are customer segments. And so as you can see, when you get to that product market fit, you focus on one of the main customer segments. So like your early adopter, you can look at it that way. But in the 30-day program that we do, and the objective is to build a scalable business model. And so you take all your customer segments out of variants of your business model, and then you stress test them for desirability. Now, if you notice the stuff in the shaded area, this is the customer segment. So if you're marketing something to students, this may be a college segment, this may be a high school segment, this may be a homeschool segment or something like that. So you got all these different customer segments. So you do a stress test of desirability, and there you're interested in the segment, the problem that customer segment has, and the value you bring to that customer segment. But the idea is you want to make sure whatever to improve the desirability, you want to shoot for 3x to 10x improvement on what the current alternatives are. So in the problem thing, you have the existing alternatives and the pain points. And then you transition to the viability is your startup viability. And this is viable, and you just use your pricing model and your metrics. And so what you have is you have a goal, annual recurring revenue 3-year goal that you set. And then there's a tool in there called the Traction Roadmap. It actually takes that goal, and then it works backwards to day one and tells you what you have to do each month to reach your goal. But it's like the start of a customer factory, a CRM system, a sales funnel. But if your pricing is not right, it's going to tell you need to see, like for example, if your pricing is, let's say, $100 a month, and it says you need to see 1,000 customers a month to reach your goal, that's probably going to be a challenge to make that work. So that's the kind of thing it does for there. And then the last one is the feasibility test, where you look at your cost, your solution, and your unfair advantage and your marketing channels. But that's kind of what the 30-day is. And then our 90-day launch program, it's more about getting the insights. So what you do, most people talk about interviewing customers, but in the Lean Stack, you interview people that has recently bought something similar to what you're building in the last 90 days, so you can understand all the customer forces and the job to be done. And then once you record those 10 to 15 interviews, you upload them to the platform, and then it analyzes and generates a customer forces story. And you do that for a broad match of customer segments, and then you do it for a narrow match based on what you learn in that broad match. And then after that, you do a solution design and then a Moffy offer. And if the Moffy offer doesn't convert, you go back and start over. So, but I love this chart, so you can see I get a little carried away with it. But actually, you can explain it pretty fast, but I elaborated a little bit there. But it's a neat process for a founder to go through. And so, like, we've been doing this program. I've interviewed probably close to 300 people now. So we started in August 2020. And we missed maybe one Thursday since then, and so I've been interviewing these founders, and most of them have broken business models, of course, but some of them are working on stuff for a year or two and don't even have a viable business model, a pricing thing. So they can't get to where they want to get, and they don't even realize it. But the tool that we're using here, it literally takes 5 minutes to plug the numbers in. So that's a pretty neat thing. So I'm going to stop there because I can go on and on forever about this stuff. Yeah. But what do you think about that stuff, Dallas?
No, that's great. I think any tool you can have right and any tool you can make, I think, without cutting too many corners is all the AI stuff you're talking about, putting all the platforms together so you can have it in one place. I mean, anything, I think, to be able to help a founder in a startup, if it's one person or 50 people, to, have a quicker process to get what they need is extremely helpful, because most of the time they're extremely shorthanded or there's not enough time in the day. And I saw, being in 35 Mules, seeing that firsthand, it's basically they're on a meeting or they're on a meeting.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. Most of them don't eat or haven't, or I don't really see them eat, right? And then, or they're traveling, they're on a plane somewhere, they leave West Palm, they head somewhere else. So they're extremely busy. So anything that you can help a startup with to streamline a process and make it quicker and easier for them is an awesome tool.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so what you kind of implied something there in your 35 Mules program. you kind of implied that that the people are actually generating business, working on their business stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And,
No, so do you want me to give kind of like a brief overview of 35 Mules for everybody?
Yeah, go ahead, right there.
Yeah, so 35 Mules was created. We're actually celebrating 100 years this year. Initially with 35 mules, an ice plant, and a sponge fishing boat. Before FP&L was FP&L, it was those three things, and we delivered ice in Miami, which now has become the Fortune 200 company of FP&L. So again, we're celebrating 100 years this year. So 35 Mules has kind of come from where we started in that innovation from where we were to where we are today, not forgetting where we came from, but at the same time, trying to keep those lessons learned and everything that we've innovated and how far we've come over these last 100 years. So it's a 15-month program. It's between 2 to 3 days a week in person. Most of the time we cut that down because we know, again, startups are busy and they have places to go and things to do, but it is an in-person program. Usually on Tuesdays, we try to pack a full day, and some of Wednesday. But it's not every week. Some weeks it's just a Tuesday, but we have entrepreneurial coaching in person. So the selection process, if you get selected to be a part of 35 Mules, you get entrepreneurial coaching every week. All the startups are in person, so you get that collaboration, which we feel is extremely vital for everybody, because some are a little further along than others, and getting to bounce those ideas off of each other, it usually helps. I can tell you something, regardless if I'm extremely knowledgeable about it or not. It just helps when another startup similar in a journey that you're on helps and says something, even if it's exactly what I said, it just sounds better coming from them because they're a startup. So we do entrepreneurial coaching. We do coaching from, we bring in SMEs from around our company for HR sessions, for legal sessions, for grant writing sessions, for different aspects of like our business units in the company. So we'll have somebody from NextEra that'll come in and talk. We'll have somebody from FP&L that'll come in to talk. And then each startup gets a mentor, and a mentor is usually a higher level employee of the company, maybe not quite an executive, but pretty close, that also has those connections that will help you kind of navigate through your journey through our company and be able to introduce you to other people. So each startup gets a mentor. And then we also have ambassadors who aren't quite at the level of a mentor, but still very interested in helping out startups, want to engage. And because we're such a large company, we're 15,000 strong between the two. We don't always know what's going on. So ambassadors are from different business units across the company that can hear a startup and understand, like, this is a problem that we need to solve, and this startup can help us. So they're kind of our eyes and ears out there from where we can't be every day and don't know what's going on, or special projects that the company's doing that really help kind of connect some of our startups to different business units for, some of the issues that they're having and trying to solve. We definitely, we do conferences every year across the state. We bring the startups with us. Majority of the time, it's a couple people for free. And then even if we can't get, let's say you have 5 founders for whatever reason, we'll get a discounted ticket and bring you there to introduce you to partners, VCs in different places. It doesn't necessarily have to be in our area. Really, for us, it's trying to grow the ecosystem in the state of Florida, not Palm Beach County. It's statewide that we're really trying to have an opportunity to grow the ecosystem in the startup community. So we try to leverage all the partners that we have from across the state and make introductions in any way, shape, or form that we can to get the company out there. And again, who knows what the connection will lead to. It's a $100,000 non-diluted cash grant, no equity, industry agnostic as well. And you do not have to be from the state of Florida. We want you to be, but at the end of the day, we've had companies in our last cohort from Brazil, Canada, Connecticut, California, New York, Miami, and Gainesville, Florida. So we had 7 startups in our last cohort that just graduated. So they're from all over. And some people get apartments that will help you find if you're X amount of distance away and you want a place locally because you want to engage and be here every day and use the office and use our space. So we'll help you find an apartment, or some startups choose to fly in and stay in hotels and get the points. It's really whatever makes sense for you and your company at the time. So thus far, with the cohort we just graduated, we've had a total of 20 startups come through the 3 cohorts that we've had. We've had a $75 million impact on the state. We've created over 41 jobs, and we have generated $80 million in funding. And that does not include that was halfway through our 3rd cohort. So I don't have the final numbers because they just graduated, but that number will go up. But our recent cohort was definitely probably the most successful. We'll almost double those numbers for us.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Applications are currently open for our 4th cohort. Please, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself. We're a team of 4 strong, and we split time with our admin. It's myself, Anisha Graydon. We're both project managers that help the day-to-day kind of be your navigator internally and externally with our company, making sure we're getting you in front of the right people, helping you with introductions, helping you navigate our corporate America and how we function at FP&L and NextEra, so you understand really who to get in front of and when to get in front of them. It's not come in and meet the CEO on the first day kind of thing, but like a lot of times, how do we get there? So we help you navigate that. And then my boss, Danielle, who you know, and then we have a full-time marketing person, Monique, who sits with us and does all of our marketing on every platform that we have, from LinkedIn to internally, externally working with partners of ours to kind of put something together to put out on sites and things like that. So applications close April 1st. So please, again, if you have any questions, we've gotten quite a few applicants already. We had 77 in our second cohort apply. We had 227 in our last. And our number is between 6 and 10. We're going to hopefully push that closer to between 8 and 10 this cohort. We think after trying the platform that we use this time with breaking some stuff up between me and Anisha, we felt like we could take on some more. So we're going to hopefully have somewhere between 8 and 10. And I'm trying to think. That's kind of it. But happy to answer any questions that I can't answer or find out the answer for you. It's not a bad place. The 35 Mules location is very open. We want you to feel like home. Come in. It's an open space. We have an amazing kitchen that people love. We stock it with all kinds of goodies. We really try to make it a home away from home for startups and have a very open and relaxing feel. We have office areas that you can have private meetings in. We meet in the back, but you can come in and set your stuff down and you have 24/7 access. We have a gym on site. We have a cafeteria on site that has tons of different food and choices that you can get every day for breakfast and lunch. I think the gym is like, I think it's $30 a month. And then obviously access to all of our other facilities that we're working out of for meetings and things like that, as far down as Miami and as far northwest as Pensacola. So I think there's a lot of opportunities with the SMEs is really what we hear back on, being able to connect with some of these SMEs. And one of our most recent graduates, that's probably our most successful during the program, FNN, they were really going after government contracts, and we didn't change much of their process, but now working with utility and open their eyes to, I think, how they can help transform what they're doing with the utility from overhead and underground distribution, transmission, solar, wind, and give them the opportunity. And then we open their eyes to, you guys have this amazing data. You've never looked at yourself as a data company, but now you have this amazing data that you can sell or offer to people, and they're working now. They have stuff going on with the Weather Channel and all sorts of things. So it's really what we're looking for is people who are coachable and people who show up. The success rate, if you're one of those two things, we're here to help you. We want you to be successful. We want to grow you. It's our job. The more we can do that, I feel like, the better we can help. Yes, anywhere. Programs open anywhere. Anyone from anywhere can apply.
Yeah, and Mikhail, if you got the email,
anyone, anywhere.
Yeah, Mikhail, if you got the email yesterday, the 35 Muses it's the first day listed in the upcoming founder opportunities, and so you should already have it. Yeah. So So this is one of the things we do, Dallas, is we each week we send out an email with opportunities, but we also have tools that people can use to build their stuff, and like upcoming opportunities and the scholarships. So like we're one of the partners with Synapse, so to get the the scholarships, the startups can get the scholarships for that, and then so like it's just the information is
great,
all there for people, but they just have to read the email. So it's definitely a great.
Yeah, no. And again, if you guys have more questions, please feel free to reach out. We've had quite a few calls here recently. We were at Florida Venture Forum 2 weeks ago, I think it was. Got a lot of connections there. Half of our team will be at Synapse, and then half of our team will be at Emerge as well in Miami. So again, anything we can do to help. And even if you don't get in the program, there's still opportunity. for introductions. Again, we fall under economic development and external affairs. So people always ask, what's in this for us? Because we don't take any equity or anything. What's most important for us is growing the ecosystem in the state of Florida, right? I mean, kind of selfishly, obviously, the more people we bring here, the more meters are ticking. So the more money that we get at the end of the day, but it's growing the ecosystem and having the opportunity to grow the ecosystem. And we track all of that from how many hires you've had, introductions that we can make with you, and we feel if we can have a startup here that's a little bit smaller and help them grow, it's a lot cheaper than a startup moving out of state and then us trying to get them back here.
Gotcha.
And we do that. And then majority of our time for me and Anisha spent doing stuff like this with the startups. But outside of that, smaller companies that may not fit the threshold for certain kickbacks and discounts on that some of our economic development team works on, we handle those as well. I actually just met with a gentleman this morning who recently relocated here. It's been like a 7 or 8 month process from San Francisco to Davie. Again, smaller company, 15 people, only needed around 7,500 square feet warehouse, but relocated here. And that's stuff that we handle. So it doesn't matter if you're a 50-person company or a 4-person company, anything that we can do to really help or make an introduction to a partner or somebody, we definitely want to be a part of that and help you.
Yes, that's, and I think I'm glad you mentioned that. But because I kind of think of the startup ecosystem, I kind of think of it in a way is that you're trying to grow all these jobs in all these locations, and so like you just explained, is to you all advantage to support economic development, and so because I think a lot of people have trouble understanding why startups get all this help, because you have to grow the economy. And in order to do that,
absolutely.
And
we obviously, we don't guarantee a pilot. That's definitely possible to have a pilot with one of our business units. And, again, outside of growing the economy here, it's important for us because you may learn from us and learn from our SMEs, but at the same time, we learn significantly from startups. You're disruptors in whatever industry you're in, and you're doing it with a fraction of the budget, a fraction of the amount of people. So how can we understand that and save customers money, make things safer, do processes better? All those things, we learn that as well.
Yeah. So I guess
no, I'm sorry.
You don't necessarily.
We do not provide. We don't provide any relocation. But the money, the $100,000, is completely up to you. Whatever you do with it, it's your choice completely.
Yeah, and I think
this location is sorry, it's in Juno Beach, Florida, at our headquarters.
Yeah,
beautiful. It's right by the beach, right by West Palm. It's great. It's a nice area. PBI is right there, so it's not too far. In Fort Lauderdale, I mean, really anywhere from our location to Miami and even Orlando now, super easy to get to because of the Bright Line. You can hop on right in West Palm, which is maybe a 15 or 20-minute drive, depending on traffic, or an Uber, and you can head down to Miami or Fort Lauderdale, fly out, go to meetings, or if you need to head to Orlando for the same situation, you're more than welcome. It's pretty quick and easy.
Yeah, and so we love partnering with you all because so Danielle, she provided us some, tickets for the Synapse next week, and she also provided some tickets for the Emerge Americas down in Miami, and so it's a fun one. Yeah, it's a great one, and so both of those events are like startup showcases, and so if you're a startup, I remember I participated in Emerge America at least one year. I'm trying to think that I do it twice, but at least one year. And so they gave us some training before the event, and when you apply to pitch, they gave us some training before the event, and then they gave us 4 tickets to get to use at the events, and so it was pretty neat. And so and then with Synapse next week, the booths are like $2,500, but yeah, the startup you can get the boost for like $250, and you got people coming by all day long, and so it's pretty neat, pretty neat.
Yeah,
thing.
we our group, our cohort just graduated, but last year they had a ton of success at Florida Venture Forum, at Synapse, and at Emerge, all three. And they're great locations. Tampa's fun. It's a great place to be. It's growing. I think they're trying to do a lot more on the West Coast there. Obviously, Miami, kind of the heartbeat in a lot of ways of startups and a lot of especially AI stuff down in Miami. And then Emerge will be back there. It's out on Miami Beach at the Lowe's Hotel. So a ton of connections are made, and you never know who you're going to run into and shake hands with. That's going to completely transform the rest of your life or your business.
That's exactly right. And so that I guess that's a best practice is to attend these startup events like that. And so those connections. But what was interesting to me about attending like Emerge America is as a startup founder and participating in the pitch competition stuff, you really find out, because you're competing with founders, all over, and you find out how well you're prepared. And so it was eye-opening for me. So my startup got to the first round of pitching, but what was interesting, it was a pre-revenue category, and this is like 2017 or something. And so the first guy that got up the pitch, he said, "We just raised $10 million." Oh no! How are you going to compete with that? But
it is good.
Yeah.
See how other people, interact and what their pitches are and things. So we work on two. We have Corey Sabin, who's done. He's been in news broadcasting, sports broadcasting, all sorts of stuff, and he really helps tell your story. So we have really two types of things that we work on. It's your elevator pitch. You've only got 90 seconds to impress whoever you're talking to. So what high points are you going to hit, and how are you going to hit them to tell your story so they remember you? And then we'll have one that's 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how much pitch time you have, wherever you're going and whatever event that you can work on, but still make sure you're connecting with your audience and really being able to tell the story for whatever the purpose is and whatever your business is, and let them know, what's going on quickly. And he works on everything from your graphics to the points that you're making, so you're not being repetitive or anything like that. So you're really sticking to the points. And, when you turn on a slide, if it's got a lot of stuff and graphs on it, helping you to explain it quickly, because most of the time when you turn off something like that, people don't hear what you're saying anymore. They start paying attention to the graph and trying to figure out what all these numbers and X's are and all these lines. So he tells you how to critique that. So you go over it quickly and they start to focus back on you, and they're not just paying attention to the graph. So we do all sorts of stuff like that.
That's fantastic. That's really, because especially, helping out with those pitch decks, that's pretty neat. I kind of wanted to back up just briefly here for a second.
Sure.
So I don't know if people. So your FPL's parent company is Nextera. What?
Yes, correct. Nextera.
Yeah.
Nextera Energy.
So
it's the non-regulated company.
Yeah. So how big
Nextera operates everywhere.
Yeah.
So total, I can tell you total numbers were a little over 15,000 combined. As far as by itself, I'm not sure. And it's the non-regulated branch of our company that operates strictly out of the state of Florida. And then we have FPL, the regulated, that just operates in the state.
Yeah. So like, is Nextera a Fortune 100 company, or Fortune 500 company, or what?
It's the leader in wind and solar in the country. It's the largest energy company in the country.
Yeah. So, and the reason why I'm bringing this up, people,
we do wind, solar, hydrogen, water, battery, just about anything. I mean, it really even amazes me today how many business units we have and what we're working on, and having opportunities to really try and get in on the front end of many things and be a leader, or try to be a leader in different things. But that NextEra Energy is a phenomenal company that I've had the pleasure to work with a little bit, but now I'm back with FP&L. But it's a great group, and they're definitely on the forefront of the industry for Go Green and things like that.
Yeah, so that's why the founders may not realize how big a deal this is to be affiliated with what you're all doing. And you said FPL was maybe a Fortune 200 company or something.
Yes, FPL is a Fortune 200 company. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So how would you like to learn from a leading company and a Fortune 200 company? That's nothing to joke about.
No, I think NextEra last time I saw was a valuation somewhere between like 140, 155 billion.
Yeah.
So
I just want to make sure people have some perspective that this is not some ranky-dank thing. It's really a big deal.
Yeah, no, it's a good group. I'm very thankful. We have a huge, diverse group of people from all sorts of backgrounds. We support many things, from different colors to religions, and I mean it's really a great company to work for with a really diverse group of people, men, women, all sorts of different things. And I think personally some of the smartest, brightest people from all walks of life that I've ever met and probably will ever meet. And I feel very blessed and fortunate to have the opportunity to work alongside them and learn from them.
Yeah. So what do you think made you a good fit for the 35 Muse program?
I think my background,
okay.
Having the background that I had with operations and supply chain and the connections that I have, you have to kind of be a connected person in this role, because you have to know who to turn to. And if you don't know who to turn to, it's really who do you know that you can ask on who to turn to. So you have to have been in the company for a while and have a pretty good network and have a bit of a diverse background. Mine's a little bit more diverse than Anisha's, but Danielle's is phenomenal, and Anisha's great at what she does. So, and I think you have to enjoy the ups and downs of working with people, right? Not every one startup is the same. They have good and bad days just like you. And I think you have to have the want and the willingness to help people. And like I said, I'm a Florida native. I love it here. I'm proud of the state, extremely proud of the state. And, the company I work for, and if I can help somebody else that, like, people have helped me in different aspects and, help somebody scale and grow, then I'm going to do that. And that's, again, I think you have to be excited about that. You have to want more for people in this situation, startups, to be able to grow. And it's always fun. It's fun. Even this last cohort, in the 15 months we had them, watching them grow and seeing all the things that they've done. And I'm happy graduations happen, that we can get another startup cohort in there. But at the same time, I'm sad, you build these relationships with people and, get to know their families and what they do and things like that. So we really try to be on a personal level as well, to make sure that we're providing the best opportunities and coaching and all sorts of things that we can. So we have the tailored curriculum that every startup goes through. And then we meet with each individual startup quarterly, and like specifically to what your need is. Is it VC introductions? Is it grant writing help? What are you trying to do that we can help you with? So you have the structure that everybody goes through on a weekly basis, but then we kind of tailor things specifically to each startup and try to really focus on what their need is and make those introductions or get them the help that they need. And we do a marketing video as well, a professional marketing video for each startup. That it's somebody that we partner with. We have internal and external marketing people that we partner with for videos and things like that. So you get a professional marketing video at no cost to you. And it can be one of our charging companies this year they wanted to do it in West Palm Beach by these charging stations and things like that. So we can get creative with it. It doesn't have to just be in some boring office where you're just sitting down and not doing anything. So.
Yeah. I remember, I can't remember how long ago it was, but maybe a couple of years ago we had Danielle on, and one of the questions she got asked, which her answer kind of shocked me. So one of the people in the audience said, "Well, do you all work with nonprofits and Danielle thought of it, and she said, well, if it's a high impact thing, that you would consider it. It's not something I think accelerators normally do, but I thought that was a really interesting answer she
Yeah.
gave. I was actually floored by that. And the other thing that came out of it was there was some question about what stage the startup has to be in to kind of go through that. And I just heard you say they're at all different stages. So you is there any more comments?
Yeah, you really have to just have a viable product. And but we've in this last cohort, just to give you an example, the company from Brazil had 54 employees and millions in revenue.
Wow.
To the company in Miami who had 2 full-time employees and 3 contractors and only in the thousands in revenue, right? So it's very different. It's more of a fit, right? Do we feel like we can help you? We don't want to waste your time, and we want to make sure that whatever company it is, however you're trying to scale and whatever you're trying to do, efforts aren't wasted. So can we help you? You may have the best thing in the world, but if we don't feel like we can help you, but to that point, maybe we can tweak it a little bit and figure out a way to help you. We've had medical devices, energy devices, AI companies, fire neural network detecting lightning. We're kind of like an ESCO to big corporation buildings. Like, how can they go green and give you a map of your facility? And if you tweak X, Y, and Z, then you're going to power bill or whatever is going to be this much. And so many states now are requiring certain corporations to, meet certain green goals that they provide this information for them. Cybersecurity. And the company out of Miami took bio waste and turned it into hydrogen. So, it's very, very different. We really only had one energy company this last cohort. Everybody else was from different backgrounds.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So I think, just listening to the way you all do the program, that just opens up a whole bunch of possibilities. And so that's really, really good. I appreciate the approach you all use, and just taking those companies at all those different stages. I think that may be a new trend now, but I hadn't ran into too many accelerators that kind of tailor their program to all different stages.
Yeah. For us, I think it's more of a fit, and it goes through a selection process.
Yeah.
I don't. Unfortunately, myself and Anisha, we don't do anything as far as the selection. We just make sure everybody has what they need when they submit their applications and their videos. Mm-hmm. And then we have subject matter experts, technical leaders, other leaders in our company, and then it eventually goes to an executive board and they do the final evaluation. And there's a Teams meeting and a 5-minute pitch after that. So, but they make the final selection, and then we'll start again. The applications close April 1st, and then we will. Yes, sir. That's right. April 1st at 5:00, and we'll start this new cohort sometime in September. And we usually think it takes like a month or two to kind of get, or probably closer to 2 months to really get acclimated with like our corporate structure and things like that. So that's one of the things. We started a little later last year and kind of ran into the holidays. So we had some gaps there. So we want to really try to get people more comfortable and kind of in somewhat of a routine before we hit the holidays next year, and give people time at home, of course, and spend with their families for the holidays. And then we'll gear back up after the holidays as well.
Yeah. And I want to point out this too, because you all help fund pitch competitions all across the state as well, right?
Yes, sir. We do. We partner with different people from across the state for pitch competitions. I'm doing one at eMERGE next week for the college kids, for college students. But yeah, we partner with different people from across the state for pitch competitions, or I would say majority of it's pitch competitions, but really anything in a startup, trying to get the startup community together, give them an opportunity to either pitch or have a meeting of some sort, sponsor it, and give them the opportunity to win a prize or, some prize money or something. We try to partner with as many people as we can across the state.
Yeah, and I definitely appreciate the partnership you all have with us, because because I got an email from Monique, I think, to anything we had going on next month, to send it to her, and she'll help get it promoted out there. And she's been promoting stuff from up here in the past as well, too. So we definitely appreciate the partnership.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So the audience, if you got any last minute questions, just go ahead, because we're gonna sign off here in a few seconds here. But do you have any parting comments for the founders out there?
I just, again, if you have any questions, please let me know. You're more than welcome to reach out to myself and Anisha. We're on LinkedIn. I'm sure my information will be in this chat in some way, shape, or form. If you have any questions that you didn't think of tonight or didn't want to ask, don't be afraid to apply, regardless of where you're at and what stage. You never know. So please apply. If nothing else, I appreciate the time here tonight. It's been a pleasure to get to speak with everybody, and I really appreciate the Kakua Institute and all the partners, really the sponsors and everything that have given me the opportunity to come on here and speak with you guys tonight. But if you think of anything else, or somebody reaches out to you, please let me know. And I'm sorry I won't see you next week at Synapse, but if anybody goes to Emerge, we'll have a group again at Synapse, and then we'll be at Emerge as well. Please look us up, reach out. We're happy to meet with you and explain more, or have a phone call with you.
That's fantastic. And if you don't mind, Dallas, I'm recording. You just say it's recording your local thing. So when you sign off, just make sure that it's finished uploading your video, and I'll send your video to you and everything, so you'll have it.
Okay, sounds good. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for the time tonight.
All right. So next week we're having Ray doing the A1C plan. So he's one of the AI startups. So he'll be here next week, and we'll be talking to him about the tools he used to build his MVP. So, and he's actually been through our 30-day and 90-day program. So we'll see what updates he has and everything. So thanks a lot, Dallas. We'll see you. Hopefully we'll see you at some events coming up soon.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Appreciate the time tonight. Thank you guys so much.
It was a big help, I think. Thank you. All right.
Yes, sir. Have a good night, everybody. Take care. Be safe.
Bye-bye.